let's dive into a puzzle that drives a ton of managers and business owners absolutely crazy. You feel like you've done everything right, you've built what seems like the perfect operational system, you've got all the procedures documented, you've even invested in the right tech, and yet your performance is just all over the map. So what's going on? Why do even the strongest looking systems so often fall flat in the real world?
I mean, you can just feel the frustration in this quote, right? It's that awful feeling of being stuck in a never-ending cycle of chaos. You're constantly putting out fires, and little problems somehow keep blowing up into huge messes, all while that perfect system that was supposed to prevent all this is just gathering dust. It's a huge red flag that something really fundamental has been missed.
And this brings us to what we're going to call the systems paradox. It's that frustrating, maddening gap between the beautiful, logical system you designed on paper and what your team actually does day in and day out. It's the point where all your good intentions just smash right into old, comfortable habits.
Seriously, does this hit close to home for you? Think about it. Have you ever walked through your own workplace, seen all the proper visual guides, the neatly structured workstations, only to find out that the moment your back is turned, people just go right back to the old, inefficient way of doing things? Believe me, this is an incredibly common story.
And look, this really gets to the core of the issue. If your system needs a manager standing over people's shoulders just to function correctly, it hasn't actually been adopted. It's not embedded in your culture.
It's just tolerated. That's it. The second that supervisory pressure is gone, or the moment a real crisis hits, everyone snaps right back to those old habits. And this is why performance can look amazing one month and then completely fall off a cliff the next.
Okay, so if a lack of systems isn't the real problem, then we've got to dig a little deeper, right? Let's uncover what's really going on here, the true missing piece of this puzzle.
This really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We've established the processes are written down, the tools are all there. So what's the variable that's breaking the whole chain?
It's competence. That's the missing piece. It's not about the system itself. It's about the proven ability of your people to use that system correctly, to use it consistently. And this is the most important part, to use it when the pressure is on and no one is looking over their shoulder.
Now, this is a really critical distinction. See, most of us think of competence as just being good at your job, but a real competence standard is much more specific. It's like a recipe for success. As you can see here, it spells out exactly what a person must know, what they must be able to do, the tools they need to use, and even the kind of attitude they have to show. It leaves absolutely nothing to chance.
But here's the thing. This whole idea of competence, it's a massive blind spot in the way most companies check on their own operations. They're just looking in all the wrong places.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly. Take a look at the column on the left. This is what almost every assessment focuses on. Is the process documented? Check. Are people sticking to it? Check. But now look at what they completely miss on the right. Actual, real-world performance. The ability to make the right call under pressure, and the capacity to get the job done without a manager holding their hand. It's like we're checking the map, but we're not checking if the driver actually knows how to drive the car.
And what happens when you just assume people are competent, but you never actually verify it? Well, you end up creating this hidden tax on your business. Managers have to make up for it with constant supervision, with micromanagement, with rework, which all leads to overtime and wasted money. This is where all that firefighting we talked about at the start comes from.
And this feeling is something so many business owners know deep down. Your team is always running around, the energy is high, everyone looks super busy, but you're not actually making progress. You're just spinning your wheels, burning energy to correct mistakes instead of preventing them in the first place.
All right, so we've put our finger on the problem, but the good news is there's a fix. Let's shift gears and talk about how you can close this competence gap by building a system that's designed not just for processes, but for the people who actually have to run them.
A true competence system is built on these 4 pillars. It all starts with standards, so everybody has the exact same crystal clear definition of what good looks like. Then you assess people against those objective standards, not just a manager's gut feeling. Third, you gather evidence, real proof that people can apply their skills where it counts. And finally, verification acts as a quality check on the whole process, making sure it's consistent and fair for everyone.
And this, right here, is the ultimate reward. When you get to a place where competence is a proven fact, not just an assumption, your systems start to run themselves. People do things the right way because they know how to, not just because they're being watched. That is how you unlock real autonomy and trust in your team.
So let's pull it all together and think a little bigger for a second. This isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about building a real, solid foundation for operational excellence that lasts.
I want you to really let this one sink in for a moment. This completely changes how we should think about operational excellence. It's not about how things run on a perfect day when the boss is watching. True excellence is about what holds up when things are messy, when leadership isn't around, and when the pressure is on. That is the real test of your entire operation. Look, if there is just one thing you remember from all of this, make it this quote right here. Your systems are the blueprint. They make the work possible. But it's the competence of your people that determines whether that work actually holds together and delivers results, day after day. So I'll leave you with this final question to chew on. When you look at your own organization, at your own team, do you see people who are just busy, constantly reacting and firefighting? Or do you see a team that's truly productive, empowered by proven competence to actually move the business forward? The answer to that question, well, it reveals everything.